Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Give us a follow in the Freedom Zone. We're going to get into it. Trump and the Elon fallout, or is it? We're going to talk about it. Click the join button under any title or click the description box and open it up. And you can click on that and join us in Patreon. Same price, same perks. Get all the daily videos with zero Google ads, as well as the extra content we're going to get into today. And also open your free account at Caleb and Brown. And this is XRPwealth589.com. DAI and myself have come together with Caleb and Brown to get you a free account, and you will not be sorry. You're going to start getting the best sleep you've ever had since you've gotten into crypto. Why? Because they have free institutional grade custody, no hidden fees or spreads, one flat rate. And let me tell you something else. Human customer service, whether it's a technical issue to your account or whether you want to speak directly to a prime broker, not to mention multiple layers of security on the account. Nonetheless, you still get a personal rep. Human customer service. Where else are you getting that? Nowhere but Caleb and Brown. Go to xrpwealth589.com and click the link Get Started today. So many people are excited when they get that human customer service. You will know yourself exactly how good it feels. Right now, it is $3.36 trillion market cap for crypto, and the market is off by 3.4%. Bitcoin now 103,000 plus, Ethereum 2,400 plus, XRP $2.15. We're off 2.3 on the 24. We're off 2% on the 7-day. The range of price very quickly here, if the computer will act right, is 207 on the bottom. We dipped all the way to 207. Thank goodness I was sleeping when that happened. I may have gotten up and bought a little bag. Yeah. Yeah, that would have made Mrs. Backup very upset. Ranging between 207 and 223, but I would have done it anyway. 207 to 223, that's where we're sitting. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's look at this news here. First of all, I will be showing you some other little snapshots from XRP Las Vegas. So proud of how that came out. So grateful for all the sponsors, moderators, speakers, and attendees that participated in making this event an incredible success. It's always great to have Simon McLaughlin, the CEO, and the rest of the team from Uphold join us on stage at XRP Las Vegas. And here's just a few shots of that. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this, ladies and gentlemen. The custom hat station at Uphold. You could go up there and have a custom hat, pick it out, put the patches on it, and then they make it for you right there in real time. That was an incredible hit. Everyone loved that, including me. I got a hat out of that. Yeah, damn right I did. Let's get started right here. It's a reminder. I think this is going to be very big, so I'm highlighting it again, obviously, right? And it is that Coinbase's wrapped XRP and Doge land on Base, which is by Coinbase, right? And basically, Bitcoin bulls are targeting 125,000 in June, while bears warn of fading momentum. So, look, I think this is super cool that we're seeing XRP be offered and wrapped as an ERC20 wrap. So, love it. Bring it on. This is adoption. And this is look at this moment that you're seeing here. This is Circle celebrating being listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Congratulations to Circle on a great achievement, but I still think Ripple buys Circle. I really do. And I'm happy for these guys. And you know what? I own Circle. I'm happy for me. It was a good day in the portfolio yesterday. Now that's excitement right there, and I love seeing it. It's also, I believe, this is symbolic. This is symbolic to the legislation that's coming. This is symbolic to the other IPOs that are coming. This is symbolic that we are about to experience the internet.com boom, but in the new crypto era. That's what I believe this is symbolic to. I really, really, truly do. And I think it's just one of many to come. And we're going to see a window of time where this is our moment. This is our era, our golden era, our golden age. But I think more than anything, it's that .com era for crypto. Dante Disparte from Circle says, at Circle, our mission to raise global economic prosperity through frictionless exchange of value has never wavered. And today I'm proud to share that Circle is now public company listed on NASDAQ and under the ticker CRCL. Thank you to all the extraordinary circlers and trusted partners around the globe. As we take this next step, our focus remains the same, building a more inclusive, open, and efficient financial system that works for everyone, everywhere. The future of finance is here. No doubt about it. And then Austin King breaks this down and says, today, the value of Circle tripled to $15 billion in just a few hours. How could prices go up that quickly, and what does it mean for other stablecoin issuers like Ripple and Tether? Well, this is just a glimpse into what's coming next. The number one thing you need to know is actually how much exposure Wall Street can get. But it's crypto. Historically, yes. You had to go to weird places like offshore exchanges to get exposure to crypto projects. The game has completely changed now, though. Crypto and traditional financial systems are finally merging. Why did it 3 times that quickly? Simply because there was far more demand to own Circle stock than previously anticipated. This was the canary in the coal mine. We didn't really know how Wall Street would react to the opportunity to invest in Ripple, and apparently neither did Circle's leadership. Traditional markets sent the world an extremely clear message today that they are ready for crypto. So what happens next? We likely see investors readjust their expectations of performance for the largest stablecoin issuers like Ripple, Tether. Tether will be constrained. It's offshore and it's not regulated by the NYDFS like Ripple and Circle are. AKA, it will be hard for Wall Street to invest. Ripple, on the other hand, will not. While not a public company yet, does have XRP, which actually powers their stablecoin, and many investors likely to treat as a proxy trade while the company remains private. The next 100 times opportunity are clearly going to be rooted in stablecoins. There is a reason that they have spent millions at Omni to build the tools needed by businesses and institutions to move on chain. Zooming out, what's happening here? It's still extremely early, but crypto is finally beginning to take over the global financial system. We're going to see a steady stream of events like today happen as things accelerate. There you have it from Austin King, who was incredible on stage at XRP Las Vegas, and he will be back, I'm sure, next year. Just in, USDC issuer Circle stock rises 200% to close at $94.41 from the $31 IPO price target. Now, let's talk about this, and congratulations to all of us that were holding Circle. Full circle moment here. Post-opening bell from Circle, take a listen from Jeremy Allaire. And congratulations, Jeremy, you deserve it.
This is an incredible and momentous milestone for this company, for building a new kind of infrastructure for the global financial system. To do it here, at the very heart of that, is so meaningful to me, to know that we're just at the start, and this transition to being a global, public, traded company here is one of the most exciting moments of my life.
There you have it right there. One of the most exciting moments of his life. That's incredible. But I still think Ripple buys Circle, maybe during or after the release of the lockout period. Take a look at this from Dom from Easy A. Shout out to Dom and Phil, who were a massive part of helping put on the Shark Tank event that I had the idea for. The proof of concept worked out incredible, and we are going to blow this thing up next year. Now, when I worked at Goldman Sachs, says Dom, I pulled multiple all-nighter pricings tech IPOs. If you're considering buying Circle, read this. Too long didn't read. I wouldn't invest in Circle's IPO after 168% pop. Why? When bankers price an IPO, they engineer a pop. on IPO day, as we just saw with Circle's 168% pop. This sharp price increase creates huge excitement and bullish sentiment around the company. All eyes focus on the stock, drawing more investors in and driving price higher, but don't fall for it. So what should the intelligent investor do? Wait 90 or 180 days after the IPO to invest. Why? Not to just allow for price discovery, but because that's typically when the lockout period ends. Yes, that's typically when people like me that are holding private equity will get the opportunity to sell. And that usually causes a downturn on the price because of that huge sell-off from people who bought in the private equity window before the company went public. So that is a window of opportunity that could become an opportunity for not only people who are locked out that can sell, but for possibly for Ripple to buy. Again, I still think Ripple buys Circle maybe after the lockout period is over now. So second, don't hate. This is Circle's New York Stock Exchange listing on June 4th. Takeaways from Presto Research. They're saying the same. Second, hastily conclude that Circle's M&A prospects are dead. Potential synergies with Coinbase and Ripple are real, but the deals failed primarily over pricing disagreements. Price discovery in the public market could help narrow this gap and reignite negotiations. It may even attract new bids from traditional finance, especially given recent reports that mega banks are exploring their own stablecoin issuance. There you have it. That's why it's real. And look at this. This is Uber CEO sitting on stage saying the company is considering using stablecoins to lower their costs. This is getting ready to happen en masse.
I understand that you are considering stablecoin as a vehicle for Uber. Talk about where your considerations are and how that might benefit your business.
Yeah, we're still in the study phase, I'd say, but I think stablecoin is one of the, for me, more interesting instantiations of crypto that has a practical benefit other than crypto as a store of value. You know, obviously, you can have your opinions on Bitcoin, but it's a proven commodity. And, you know, people have different opinions on where it's going.
He's talking about the difference between just holding on to something and whether something's got utility.
But I do think that stablecoin is quite promising, especially for global companies that are moving money around globally to create a mechanism for us to essentially reduce costs.
I understand that you are considering stablecoin as a vehicle for Uber.
Second. There we go. My computer is just really acting very glitchy today. The internet here sometimes. Nonetheless, Uber seeing the benefits of tokens with utility like stable coins. And if they could see the utility in stable coins, boy, I bet they could really see the utility in XRP, especially knowing that Uber works all around the world with lots of different currencies. Yeah. And I'm never going to forget this moment on stage from Brad Garlinghouse at the Collision Conference up in Canada a year or two ago. And he said this.
I'm not sure is the short answer. I think stable coins as a category, I think, have a role to play, particularly in domestic settlement.
Oh, now, come on, Bradley.
I'm not sure is the short answer. I think stable coins as a category, I think, have a role to play, particularly in domestic settlement. I haven't yet seen exactly where the U.S. is going to come out here. Other countries around the world clearly are doing more ahead of the U.S. and how they're kind of approaching central bank issued digital assets. What's confusing to me is why do we need 10 different US dollar stable coins or 20?
I just think that's such an amazing point. And I think it's an amazing point for him to mention it. If my memory serves me right, they weren't even talking about real USD when this conference happened, but they were preparing for it, I'm sure, behind the scenes. Yeah, why have 10 or 20 different ones when you could have one real USD that's highly compliant and regulated? That's how I see it. That's why I say I believe, really, don't shut the door on a Ripple Circle acquisition, even after it goes public. And then this, J.D. Vance discussing moving quickly on passing the Genius Act. Take a listen.
Let me be emphatic on one other point. In this administration, we do not think that stablecoins threaten the integrity of the United States dollar. And let me be emphatic on one other point. In this administration, we do not think that stablecoins threaten the integrity of the United States dollar. Quite the opposite.
There you go.
In fact, we view them as a force multiplier of our economic might.
Boom.
Dollar-pegged stablecoins, particularly once Genius is enacted, is only going to help the American economy, and it's only going to help the American dollar. So, again, we're optimistic that the Senate is able to move quickly on passing a clean Genius Act, and for the House to follow up and do the same. And of course, once that happens, our great President Trump will sign it into law the minute it comes across his desk. Let me be.
There you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's Senator Bill Hagerty, who put the Genius Act together, showing this here and the confidence from the administration. Now, let's take a look at this, the pathway to build America's strategic Bitcoin reserve right now.
Or do you think that there is a pathway to do this faster?
Yeah, I do think there's a pathway. I think the place to start is to use the money that's held by the U.S. Marshals Service because it was asset forfeiture monies in the form of digital assets. That could be the basis for year one of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And then we can add other currently held assets held in a different form, convert them to Bitcoin and hold them later. So there are certain things that the administration can do using its existing authority and doesn't need legislation to do. But I think it's important eventually to have a legislative framework for a strategic Bitcoin reserve so it can't be undone by future presidents. And my purpose for a strategic Bitcoin reserve is to set it up, have 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of all Bitcoin, hold it for 20 years, and it will eliminate half of the U.S. debt.
There you have it. That's the plan. That's the goal. But remember, as the Uber CEO said on stage, you know, store of value is one thing. But when you're talking about utility like stable coins, and I'll add myself other assets that have utility like XRP, Stellar, and others, you know, you have to say to yourself, you can't ignore that utility and how it can help the entire financial system of payments and settlement and clearing. We have yet to experience that in the market. So while I am totally for it, if it's obvious to me that this administration is embracing Bitcoin, understanding what we understand about the pros and cons of Bitcoin, then it's obvious to me that it's a government psyop. So by far, as long as the U.S. created it and they're aware of where it's all going and what it's about, then this is the plan. It's to help conflate the price of Bitcoin to help pay down the debt. But at the end of the day, it's like we have to have these assets with utility like stablecoins, ADA, XLM, XRP, and others that really provide utility in the financial system. And that is going to require getting this legislation done. And I believe we get it done this year. No question about it. Just like Christian Carlo believes that we're getting it done this year. No question about that either. Listen, it's not financial advice from me or anyone else. I don't want this getting too long. We're going into the Freedom Zone, and I hope you will join us, ladies and gentlemen, because, boy, we're going to take on that battle between Elon Musk and Trump that's developing right now. Come on in. All right, welcome back. Let's get this open here for everybody. All right, let's start right here.